that note, let's go on to this production conversation because you put together 50 best beats all time, right? And I'm still working on my list. I'm actually trying to find where my list is, but I wanted to have a conversation about production because the way I was doing my list was I was getting 10 beats from the 80s, 10 beats from the 90s, 10 beats from the early 2000s, 2010s, and I was just going to get 10 random ones from the best overall. And you said something that was interesting to me. You said you're really not a fan, or not, you didn't say you're not a fan of 80s production, but you didn't think many 80s beats would fit in that conversation. And I guess I want to ask, like, what's great hip hop production consist of, and what are we basing that production level on? Because influence is big to me, and the '80s beats
That's
got a
what I
lot of
mean.
that.
There has to be a balance between like if it can't all be influence because influence is sometimes it, it with influence is nostalgia.
True.
And so we can't let nostalgia necessarily reign supreme. You know, like
I
how
agree with
about
that.
this? Like I'm gonna tell you what came on this morning when I was working out, Mike. Hustle Hard by Ace Hood. It's like I thought about that beat. It's like, nah, that beat better than most of them '80s beats, Mike. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay.
It just is. There's been an evolution and an upgrade in the formulas, and so some of these
And
beats are better.
technology
But I'll tell
too.
you, but some songs are just so inherently great, and the beat is so inherently great that it just stays, Mike. They reminisce over you. Nothing but a G thing. So it's like it can still happen. I just don't think. I think it happens more in the '90s than the '80s, beat wise, is my opinion. I think what is special about the '80s are the words. Like "Love's Gonna Get You" by KRS One. That's not a beat that everybody remembers, but everybody remembers that mic performance. You know what I'm saying?
What would you
Like,
say about stuff like Houdini's Friends though? Because we hear that beat throughout time, like, or
I could
even
see
One
friends.
Love.
I could see friends or one love. I get what you're saying, but this is what I'm saying. It's like then I hear some shit like "Hustle Hard," and it's like, well, which one do you want to rap
What
over?
strikes you about Hustle Hard in the beat? Is it the way it's hitting, or
It's the way it slaps. Yeah,
okay? So
it's the way it drops. It's the way it's engineered too. It comes through very, very nicely.
okay,
It's very well.
clarity is a part of it too.
That's why Dr. Dre is the best, Mike. Dr. Dre is the
That
best
is
because
why
of the
Dr. J
clarity
is the
his
best.
beats provide. Right.
That's why you're about to be in trouble with this Death Row family versus Wu Tang.
Oh no, 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 Mike. I feel like I should be the underdog in this because
You
you
should be
have
done.
yeah, I'm the underdog in this. I'm
Now,
picking Wu Tang still.
I mean, we're gonna get back to the beat stuff, but I do want to ask: should I be able to use Deep Cover? Because I don't think Deep Cover is technically a Death Row record.
Then no, Mike. Then you can't use it. You got plenty of stuff to go off of. I don't feel sorry for you. It's like, oh, Mike, don't get to use deep cover. It's like, oh, use the other 50 classic songs they made. I don't know.
Hold on, let's see what the Deep Cover soundtrack
Like
was
you
at.
have stuff like what would you do with the Dog Pound and Snoop, Mike? I don't even know if that would make your top 20. That's classic.
Yeah, it is. Deep
Right.
Cover was on Solar Records and Epic Records.
Sorry, Mike. Hate it for you,
So I
Mike.
guess that doesn't constitute.
I hate it for you, Mike.
But yes, yes. So it's about the clarity. It's about the way it's hitting. Um, so by that, I feel like maybe a lot of the southern beats might get a leg up too.
That's part of what my rationale has been with some of it. And here's the problem with Southern beats is that there are so many great Southern beats that have similar tones to them that it's hard to differentiate. That's why this is what I mean. And that's where nostalgia does take over in the South, where something like, well, my mind playing tricks on me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like, no, no, no. That beat is not better than the Hustle Hard beat technically, but Mike, about the nostalgia though. You know what I'm saying? And about
Huh.
the impact of that song is just so ridiculous. You get what I'm saying? So like there are moments like that, like Children's Story.
Okay.
You
But
know what
are
I'm
you
saying?
taking the
Hall
words
of
out of
Fame,
it?
Paid in Full, like those beats, yeah, but the majority, no. I'm thinking about the majority, not the top of the top, but the majority of the 80s beats, no. I'd have to tell you no.
Are we taking the words out of it? Because I know when you and I were doing our verses,
I'm saying, like,
people were asking us if we would just play the instrumentals. So are you taking the words out of it and you're just looking at the beat?
I'm doing my best to do that, Mike. That's why it's like when I listen to Microphone Fiend, it's like, is that about the words? It's like, yeah, but that beat is ridiculous. And it's clear. Like for me, Microphone Fiend is the best beat between the first two Rakim albums.
Really?
It's the best beat between the first two. I was a fiend before. Yeah, Mike, it's the beat. Like Follow the Leader is about the bars.
I'm not a big Follow the Leader fan as far as the beat goes. Now, I love the song.
I'm saying, Mike, but even the Paid in Full beat, Mike, that's still about Rakim's flow and the bars on there because you never really heard nobody rap like that. You know what I mean? Stop. Still don't nothing move but the money.
My favorite beat on it's still Eric B. is President.
That's not better than Microphone Fiend beat-wise to me. I think Paid in Full beat-wise is actually still better than Eric B. is President slightly. If I was picking right now today about the drums, actually.
What about I Ain't No Joke?
That's
My Melody?
The bar work on there is just otherworldly for that time period.
What about My Melody?
No, not good enough. That's one of those 80s beats where I'm like, no, My Melody ain't making it.
You know another Rakim start off that we missed the other day when we were talking about top 5, I guess, opening lines or whatever. It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a strong rhyme to step to. He has all the opening lines.
He does.
So it makes it very difficult to even judge his production.
As you hear it, pump up the volume.
He makes it very difficult to judge his production because all of his production was on point, but the way he was in pocket and the stuff that he was saying and the way that those records came together and they were bangers, it's like he's the star, but the production was on point too.
But he's always a star, but there are some of his beats that are succinctly better to me. It's like Know the Ledge, Mike. It's one of his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Know the Ledge is the truth. I do think that. What do you think about the lyrics of Fury beat? Because I think that beat could be better. It's him.
That's what I'm saying, Mike. That ain't making the cut.
Now, I do love the funky drummer loop and all that stuff, but lyrics of Fury is about him.
It's literally the funky drummer loop, and it's great. Not making the cut. You can't put it next to the Bridges Over and Children's Story and Microphone Fiend and tell me it deserves to stand next to him beat-wise. Like, that's what I'm saying. If you take the words out, it wouldn't stand up.
Okay, let's do this. The Message, is that an all-time great beat? Top 50.
Yeah, The Message.
All right, so The Message. What about, I'm thinking between One Love and Friends.
I think Friends is the one that's been used the most.
Friends a top 50 hip-hop beat all time?
I'm 50-50 on that, but I feel where you're coming from, and there's probably a generation before us that would say yes. So,
Rebel Without a Pause.
I would say Welcome to the Terror Dome. Oh, that's 90.
That's 90. Yeah, because no one had heard anything like that.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm about to say, Mike, for innovation purposes, that's fine.
Rebel Without a Pause, and that's mostly where the 80s stuff is going to fit in, and innovation. What do you think about Rock the Bells?
I would do Jingling, Baby.
Is that the 80s? Or is that 90?
I feel like that's 89.
Okay.
Specific. So I would do Jingling, Baby over that. Here's what I mean, Mike. You feel like Rebel Without a Pause is better than Boys in the Hood beat-wise?
I was going to mention Boys in the Hood. No.
Do you think it's better than The Bridge Is Over?
Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, Boys in the Hood, definitely. Even though that Straight Outta Compton beat is vicious.
It is. I think the Boys in the Hood beat is a little better.
I think it is too, and I think it's been copied a lot more too.
As well it should. It's still arguably top 5 West Coast beat.
I mean, Megan just copied it not too long ago.
Top 5 West Coast
KC1 with the super chat says, but the RZA is the most influential producer ever. What do you say to that? You think RZA is the most influential producer ever?
Influential?
Where's his influence seen mostly? In the early Kanye sampling, soul sample era?
I feel like he's the architect for the greatest run that we've ever seen in rap. So in that regard, yes, very influential.
Top billing. It's a good one. I think that's definitely a top 50. Yeah. Yeah.
Think about it, Mike. You're not naming a lot of beats, though. That's what I'm saying. It ain't like that in the 80s. You know what I thought about, Mike? Ain't No Half Stepping. What do you think of the Ain't No Half Stepping beat?
I love the Ain't No Half Stepping beat, but I want to get to Biz Markie, Make the Music with Your Mouth, though. I mean, again, it's another one that's been flipped a lot.
See, that's what I mean about that nostalgia and impact. But you're talking about the flip of it, but how impactful is the record? Because, like, Ain't No Half Stepping is more impactful.
For the beat?
For the culture. Like, when the Ain't No Half Stepping beat comes on, it's like, that's...
Because we know what's about to come when he's rapping Step Up To Me. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. We know Kane's about to come in. I think there's a different effect because of the lyrics that are coming in.
You think inherently, if we were to take what we know the bar work is out, you're saying the Biz beat's better.
Definitely.
Okay.
That doon. That shit's crazy.
Okay.
What do you think about It Takes Two and Push It? I see in the chat too.
I don't know about Push It.
I would be more inclined.
That's what I mean.
I would be more inclined to go supersonic.
I got it made over both of those if we're talking about beat.
Okay.
Because they were dancing that I'm your the highest title, numero uno. Yeah. I got it made.
What do you think about Supersonic? No?
No.
Very influential.
No.
Huh. Nobody Beats the Biz. I like that one too. I actually like both of those over Ain't No Half Stepping.
Nobody Beats the Biz better than Making Music with Your Mouth.
I thought about both of them, and I played both of them back to back. I like the song Nobody Beats the Biz more, but I think that the Make the Music with Your Mouth's the better beat.
You might have a point.
BMCD with the super chat says Africa Bambaataa Planet Rocks beat. What say you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually,
no. I mean, the music got to stand alone. I feel you.
No, it don't. Not when you do stuff like that. No.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I'm not putting him in anything. Kiss my entire ass. I'm not doing it.
Paper Thin, I had on my sheet too. The breaks.
Paper Thin's up there.
Paper Thin's a bang.
That's like a 3 in a possible. You know what I'm saying? It's a good hand. Mm-hmm.
Black Still in the Hour of Chaos. I love that. Jam on It. That takes you to a time. Jam on It by Nucleus. Ooh, this is a good one. James Smith says, So What You Saying by EPMD. That's actually one of my personal favorite. I think You're a Customer might be my favorite beat from EPMD, but So What You Saying is right there. You're a Customer's tough.
I want both of those, actually. We can do that.
Okay. Let's see what else people. Yeah, So What You Saying? Set It Off.
Are you writing these down?
Planet Rock. Yeah, I'm writing these down.
Okay.
So What You Saying? And I got You're a Customer. I'm gonna listen to both of those back to back and make an assessment. I think You're a Customer, possibly. You know what? The 80s is actually deeper than the 2000s for me, I believe. Because the 2000s, I went Grinding, I went Made You Look. I think What You Know's in there too. I think You Don't Know is in there.
You don't think One is in there by Ghostface?
one is heavy. I need to go think about that. I was actually listening to Supreme Clientele this morning, by the
Of course you. That might be Juju's best beat, Mike.
Yeah. I don't know. It's between that.
What, Off the Books remix?
I love Off the Books. But one of my favorites, man, is Beat Nuts Forever. You remember that?
Yeah, of course.
East to West. Ever needing the vest, you're going to find you with a crowbar stuck in your chest. Yeah. Show 305 time with the super chat says, Poor Righteous Teachers, rock this funky joint. Ronnie O and Joe Cooley, Everlasting Bass. I like the Everlasting Bass pick.
I don't.
You don't like dun 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 dun. That's a staple. You're talking about the quality at that point. I guess I'm thinking impact.
That's what I'm saying, though.
Because if you want to put Everlasting Bass, yeah,
it's got you stuck on the impact. Think about the beats. I'll take Jump On It before I'll take Everlasting Bass.
Because you can't really put Everlasting Bass next to G Thing or something, or the whole Chronic. Yeah, Deep Cover.
That's it. That's the 90s.
No, I'm just saying. I'm skipping up generations now. Because let's do the difficult task.
Did you put Children's Story down?
Yeah, I got Children's Story down. Let's do the difficult task of trying to pick 10 beats from the 90s.
Well, we just picked like 20 beats from the 80s. Why the 90s only getting 10?
We didn't pick 20. Okay, let's get 20 from the 90s then. John Dixon with the super chat says, the Gas Face, Third Base.
Nah.
What are the best beats from the 90s?
Shook Ones Part 2 and Quiet Storm.
Well, Cream.
Award Tour, They Reminisce Over You.
What do you think about OPP?
It's all about the Benjamins.
Okay. Do you think Uptown Anthem or any of those Naughty by Nature songs belong here?
You talking about the beat, right? You understand? Yeah. Tretch was an animal, right?
Tretch was an animal. I was listening
to
them.
And that's not the knock KG. Welcome to the Terradome, Mike, is 1990, so you can go ahead and put that down.
Welcome to the Terradomes there. Hold on. We had Shook Ones 2. Shook Ones 2, Cream.
Quiet Storm. Award Tour. Troy.
Of course.
Mike, Who Shot You?
Okay.
Lucchini, It's All About the Benjamins. Welcome to the Terradome. Ambitions as a Rider. You can pause on that if you want to.
Yeah. What do you think about, I see someone saying Triumph.
No.
You know what? I'm going to be honest, guys. I've never been a huge fan of the Triumph beat. Even on that album specifically, I don't even know if it's a top 5 beat on that album. For me.
It's not. Bells of War is a better beat. MGM's a better beat. Heaters. Cash Still Rules, Scary Hours is a better beat. Older Gods is a better beat.
Yeah.
Reunited's a better beat. It's Yours might be a better beat.
I think so. For me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's the mic performances that's on Triumph that really take it to that level.
Shit's a better beat than Triumph. Oh, yeah.
You think Dog Shit is? Dog Shit is crazy.
It's crazy. The horns.
What do you think about Brooklyn Zoo?
Yes, I do.
I think Brooklyn Zoo is actually one
of the
strongest.
We need to reach out to True Master. True Master's in the A, Mike. We need to reach out to
we need to reach out to True Master. Ooh, Glaciers of Ice. Jeez.
Mike, that's why I say you said 90 beats. It's like Purple Tape.
Well, okay. Since we're speaking on RZA again, we're speaking on what is
RZA. That's where it's not like the influence. It's like pick 10 90 beats. It's like you can pick 10 RZA beats.
So is RZA the most impactful producer in hip hop?
If we're talking about quality for a period of time, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. If what we measure is quality, he had the best product on the block, Mike, for about 5 years.
Over Premier.
No producer's ever had the best product on the block 5 years straight. You feel what I'm saying? Like, not even Dre. Dre had 2 years straight. He had Doggy Style, and he had the Chronic. You know what I'm saying? And then it was 10 years before he had it again. No, RZA had 93, 94, 95, 96, 97. Yeah, that was real. That happened, Mike. As a producer, he had 93, 94, 95, 96, 97. That happened.
So essentially, y'all are saying that RZA is the producer of the 90s. Or is that still Dre?
Yeah, he is. Like, Dre is all time because Dre has pieces of the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, but the 90s is RZA. And I know that's the middle of Preem's run, too, but I'm sorry, Preem doesn't have... He made Liquid Swords in the Purple Tape, Mike. He made them back to back.
Yeah.
That's like the season Jordan averaged 37, and then he came back and averaged 35, 8, and 8.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, he's better than everybody else. That's what Liquid Swords. That's what the Purple Tape and Liquid Swords are. It's like, okay, he's better than everybody else.
And then Old Dirty's album comes out that year too.
Before. That's the precursor, Mike. That's what I'm saying. And what comes after Liquid Swords is Iron Man. It's like, no, ain't nobody ever did that, Mike.
It's true. Think he got burnt out?
Huh?
Think he got burnt out?
Mike, it's the best run ever. Absolutely got burned out.
Yeah.
No question about it. Because here's what I'm saying, Mike. Go listen to the beats on Tikal. Those beats are crazy, Mike. Mr. Sandman.
Yeah.
Biscuits. Yeah. The beat The Biscuits is nuts, Mike.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about the Tikal album anymore because of all the great stuff that came after it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mike, it's pretty epic, Mike.
He did a lot of work on Wu-Tang Forever too.
Cream. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. Can it all be so simple? Chess boxing, just beat-wise.
I'm going to reach out to True Master today. Or I'm going to reach out to his people and see if we can,
Bring the pain?
Yeah, bring the...
That verse, Chef?
See, you know what, man? You're right. I don't even think about stuff like Bring the Pain.
Mike. He is the producer of Shimmy Shimmy Yawn, Baby Come On, Rawhide.
Yeah.
Snakes with the Jizza. All of the Purple Tape and Liquid Swords, Mike. Iron Man. He produced everything on Iron Man except for Fish. That's True Master again. True Master's a beast, Mike.
He is.
He did Fish, too.
This is making me think about...
the homie Tremaine from Boulevard Homes, the first one to put me on True Master. He used to be like, the nigga True Master can make a beat, cool.
So, you still got Dre as number one, right?
All time.
But...
We're picking the 90s. It's RZA. Ain't nobody, it's not even close.
Where do you think RZA is all time, period? Just based on that
run.
Off
the run, Mike. He's top 5 off the run. That's what I'm saying because it's never been done. How about this? The only reason Preem and RZA's even a conversation is because Preem made Moment of Truth. Like, you understand that the Biggie, Jay, and Nas records ain't enough for Preem to take RZA shit down. That's how epic it is. He need Moment of Truth just to make it a fight, Mike. And this is after Mass Appeal and Dwick. You feel me?
He needs more Moment of Truth, in my opinion, because, again, you got multiple albums here. You got Into the 36, which we're not even talking about. And you got we got Only Built for Cuban Links, and we got Liquid Swords, right? So, okay.
And Iron Man.
We don't even need to go there yet. Those 3 alone, right? And then we got stuff like Iron Man and Tikal and Return to 36, just waiting in the wings.
It's not counting Wu-Tang Forever.
Yeah, it's not counting Wu-Tang Forever. I don't think there's any producer in hip-hop that we could say did that massive amount of work in that small period of time at that quality. Yeah.
How about this? Like, let's take 95, for instance, Mike. Let's take 95, 96. Go look at Preem's work in 95, 96.
Yeah.
And go look at RZA's work in 95, 96. Preem probably has about 20 classic tracks that he made in those 2 years. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Mike, RZA made like 3 or 4 classic albums during that same stretch.
That's why when they were doing the verses, I was like, oh no, I got RZA all day.
People like 95 Primo. I'm like, what you mean 95 Primo? It's like the RZA made Liquid Swords and the Purple Tape and Return to the 36 Chambers in 95. Don't you mean 95 RZA?
on an all-time list, do you have RZA ahead of Primo?
I told you, Mike, I have RZA at number 2.
Okay.
I have him ahead of Kanye.
Okay.
Great RZA. And I would probably objectively have to say Kanye at this point, Mike.
Okay.
If I need a beat, I'm calling Dilla, though.
But you know what it sounds like? From what you're telling me, it sounds like you really put a lot of onus, as you should, in the full album-making process.
Mike, it's not... Okay, so this is what I'm saying. No matter how you want to toss it, Mike. In Enter the Wu-Tang, Only Built for Cuban Links, Liquid Swords, and Iron Man, he made 4 top 50 albums in 4 years.
Yeah.
Show me the other person that made 4 top 50 albums in 4 years.
And it's very clear.
Because Niggas for Life ain't a top 50 album.
No, and it's great. It's very clear in music, period. It's much more difficult to make a great album than it is to make a great song. A great album is a collection of great songs.
And then, Mike, if you really start looking at realistically where those albums rank all time, it's like, well, Iron Man's the weakest one of the bunch. Think about what that's saying. The other 3 albums are in most people's top 25.
Straight up. Yeah.
Like Liquid Swords, Into the Wu-Tang and the Purple Tape is in everybody's top 10.
Yeah.
So he's the author of 2 of the 10 greatest rap albums of all time. As a producer, the only person can say that is Dre, right?
Right.
So we got Liquid Swords sitting over here, and we got Iron Man sitting over here.
Yeah.
We got It's for Life and Straight Outta Compton sitting over here. Now, if you can tell me that Straight Outta Compton is better than both of those albums, Mike, but it ain't about the production.
It's about the
impact.
impact.
The production on Liquid Swords and Iron Man is better than the production on Straight Outta Compton and Niggas for Life.
I might gripe with the Niggas for Life one, but definitely Straight Outta Compton.
No.
The Niggas for Life production is pretty great.
It's not better
the production
than Liquid Swords.
carried that album. It might not be better than Liquid Swords, but I think it's better than Iron Man production.
Okay, you can say, okay, that's fine. You can give it that. But
Yeah,
Liquid
but
Swords
Liquid
is better.
Swords is-
Liquid Swords production wise is better than Straight Outta Compton and Niggas for Life though.
I'm not
Ain't no
mad
damn
at that.
shadow boxing.
Yeah.
I know Living in the World today on those albums.
I'm
Out
not
your
mad at
damn
that.
mind. No, did you hear a 4th chamber on Niggas for Life? I didn't.
No.
Right. So when
The
you're
best
asking-
beat on Niggas for Life for me is
Appetite for Destruction is mine.
that's pretty great. You know what? I like Real Niggas Don't Die. And Find Them, Fuck Them, and Flee Them too. That shit was hard.
Dude, Daytona 500,
Oh yeah.
Iron Maiden,
Yeah.
Assassination Day.
Yeah. Vernon F with the super chat says,
Winter War.
how about Catch a Bad One by Dale the Funky Homo Sapien from the 90s. Catch a Bad One was hard.
Man, I like Boo
I
Boo
love
Heads more.
Dale. Dale was ahead of his time, man.
It's Cube's cousin.
Yeah, Cube's cousin. Dale was like the first, I would say him and Kool Keith, the first, I guess what you would call hip hop weirdos per se. You know what I mean? Like how
Yeah,
the
Dale was
Tylers and Pharrells and even Q-Tip, my favorite artist, Move. Like these guys were like the first, as they call it, alternative hip hop artists. KC1 with the super chat says, where would you have ranked a Deck album if it wasn't for the flood? I don't like doing the if it wasn't thing. I don't know. We don't know what it sounds like. But again,
You
that's
wanna know
another
another-
thing. The flood is a part of RZA's legacy as well. And even with the flood, he made all those records you're talking about.
I mean, to be honest with you, Mike, and here's what I mean about history.
What's that? Something caught your eye. You good?
No, somebody just sent me some. I need to check up on them in a second. But
Okay, yeah. We'll get
hold on,
it.
where were we? I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought right quick.
I forgot exactly what you said. Jermaine Johnson with the super chat here says, RZA didn't just make beats. He produced the group by placing those 9 brothers together. He also came up with the Kung Fu concept and samples. Very difficult from making beats for a ready-made group. Yeah, it is very different. Because not only did he produce these guys, he cultivated these guys in their careers.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was about to say, Mike. I think Meth is the one that actually suffered from all this because really what
Blood.
happened was because Meth was first in the chamber because he was the biggest, brightest, and best star of the bunch. He never really got a proper re-up with RZA to kind of right the wrong. And so as much as I love Deck Mike, I really think the misstep was that right after Iron Man and before Wu-Tang Forever is that Meth and RZA should have got back in the lab. And then you do Wu-Tang Forever, and then you do Deck.
I wonder why those things didn't happen though, because
right. I think Meth had just become too much of a star, but we needed a RZA Method Man album more than we needed a RZA Deck album in 96-ish, 97-ish. Because Tikal's in December 94, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Iron Man is like August 96, right?
Yep.
So we need Tikal to December of 96. So right after Iron Man, but also too, this could have been why the drought was on too, because it's like what people Ghost Now has talked about. It's like, well, the beats for Iron Man ain't like the beats for Liquid Swords or Purple Tape. It's like, first of all, that's never happening again, nigga. All right. So you know that shit. So stop playing. But then the second part of that is that maybe that's why it didn't happen, is because really, Mike, the last masterful beat job that I feel like that he did is Iron Man. I like Wu-Tang Forever a lot, but I don't love it production-wise. I really enjoy it.
There's something missing. You could tell that they're out of the first generation phase of Wu-Tang.
They're back together again, but it's like the Kung Flu samples are gone, and they're like
There's a few moments, but yeah, overall, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like the Kung Fu samples that they used, but Mike, and I've always said this, the real problem with Wu-Tang Forever is that if you go back and listen to the first one, Mike, and this is a production thing too. Well, the GZA and Old Dirty Bastard are all over the first one, and those are his cousins. He's been recording them since a youngin'. Old Dirty and GZA aren't hardly on Wu-Tang Forever, and that's why it doesn't sound as good. He sounds best sometimes when he's working with his family, like most families are.
Yeah, that's
family's
hard.
Not there. Yeah, Dirt and GZA not on Wu-Tang Forever. That's what's wrong with Wu-Tang Forever's cohesion.
36
GZA
Chambers.
got like 4 verses.
36 Chambers with the super chat says Uncontrolled Substance was not a bad debut album for Deck, and it doesn't get enough love in my opinion. Of course it isn't Liquid Swords or Purple Tape or Supreme, but let's not act like it was Samid. Leroy Green with the super chat says, what up Mike, hope all is well. Coop, write some rhymes, trust me. Do like J. Cole and get some writing drills in.
You don't want me to do that, Leroy. I keep trying to be nice to you, Leroy. I've been writing full songs since I was like about 15, 16 years old. When I used to first start rhyming, I used to bring like 3-4 sheets of paper, like front to back covered. Like that's why niggas had to teach me about bars, because I would just like rhyme to the end of time. You don't want to do it.
Gil Thompson with the super chat says, Rip the Jacobite Cannabis is underrated beat-wise and lyrically. Stoop from Jedi Mind Tricks destroyed those beats. The first song, Genibus, is genius. I need to go back and listen to some of that stuff. What I was going to say, though, is I've been very critical on the fact of, and Method Man, again, being my favorite rapper growing up, I think that break that he took from 94 to 98 was just too vast. And you're right. We should have gotten an opportunity for Meth and RZA to re-up, because the flood clearly took a lot of records from Tikal. The touring between, Into the 36 and everything else that Meth had going on between that and Tikal also made Tikal somewhat rushed. You know what I mean? So I think one of the biggest things we have missed in hip-hop history, especially in the 90s, was not getting a 96 or 97 album from Method Man fully produced by RZA.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like, that's what we really miss.
Yeah.
And it's like because here's the thing. He literally contributed to making all the other projects great. Think about it, Mike. Who's on Fish?
Yeah.
Who sews up Fish on Iron Man?
Yeah. He's the glue guy.
Look, who sews up Ice Cream and Wu Gambinos on the Purple Tape?
Yeah.
Mike, shadowboxing and living in the world today on Liquid Swords. Rawhide on Return to the 36 Chambers. He shows out.
What are we expecting from an Inspector Deck album in that period? Because
that's
honestly, to me, my expectations for Deck's album will be more along the lines of, let's just say, Liquid Swords, right? Like, you're not getting the Ice Cream from Deck. You're not getting the Incarcerated Scarfaces from Deck. You're not getting the Bring the Pain from Deck. You may get a Living in the World Today from Deck, possibly. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, you're not getting a Daytona 500 from Deck. You're not.
Because here was my thing is that, and I say this respectfully, and you know how I feel about Liquid Swords, but just for critical consumption. The deck tracks, the decks on Liquid Swords, Mike, I feel like if that record is just the GZA by himself, or if that record is just Deck by himself, the impact of the record is not the same. Mm-hmm. And so because GZA is still a better lyricist and better song maker than Deck, I would have taken more time making Deck's album than even the GZA's album, which RZA took his time to make, more so than the other albums, I think. And that's why you do the Meth Project, too. It's going to come a little bit easier in terms of putting it together and what you're going to provide. Because what you just provided the GZA with, you're going to have to do an even better job with Deck. Like, think about it. Like, and even look at it from this context, Mike. What is Liquid Swords without Ghost and RZA on Fourth Chamber and without Meth on Shadowboxing? And you know how I feel about the GZA, Mike.
And you know what? Again,
without investigative reports.
And maybe these are some things that we could ask True Master. And honestly, I want to interview RZA too. But is him actually putting these guys on these tracks, is that his call? Or is it one of those sign-up sheet things like the Dungeon Family did for their album where it's like they got song titles and they're signing up or whatever? Or is it one of those things where RZA said, I got Fourth Chamber, I need this person, that person, and that person on there? Because if that's part of his production, I think that gives him a leg up on other producers too, because he knows what individuals fit for what. You know what I'm saying? And right, a lot of people ain't have to deal with that.
So think about this. So, 95 Nas is on investigative reports, but we haven't heard it. But if he did what he did on the Purple Tape, Mike, that's why you didn't hear it, because it's kind of like, well, hold on. We love him, but A, we can't let him stunt like this twice on 1 year on the Wu Project, back to back. And also, his verse might have been succinctly better than the other three at the time, because, it's 95 Nas. And nothing against the other three guys, because this is Ghost, Ray, and GZA. But the song might have sounded better with those three guys together, as opposed to that Nas feature. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Those are the decisions that I feel like he makes. I think the recording process, Mike, is really who steps to the mic, because this is what I'm saying, Mike. Think about it. And this is what I mean about we don't know when stuff gets made. Mike, don't Shadowboxing sound like it should be on Tikal too and not on Liquid Swords, though? Don't you kind of feel me?
I think.
Doesn't that sound like that? Doesn't that sound like the lead single to Tikal 2 instead of, the GZA's fourth single off of Liquid Swords? Because think about it. Labels, Liquid Swords, and Cold World, and I Got Your Back got released before Fourth Chamber Shadowboxing. So
I don't know the process. And again, this is something that maybe we can ask True Master or RZA himself. But it feels like maybe Method Man, maybe because he was being stretched with so many features, because I believe he has one of the strongest feature catalogs possibly ever. I think because he was getting stretched so much, making appearances everywhere, he might not have been recording his own stuff as much as the others were. So maybe that part of it was moving slow for him. So to kind of get to your point, or my point about your point, I think maybe Shadowboxing being done, and it was during this album sessions, and there wasn't a new Method Man album in sight, the answer was put it on this album. You know what I'm saying?
But this is what I'm saying. Shadowboxing is one of those records
you can hang on to. Yeah.
Right.
But GZA said, I want this for my album, and you're not going to tell GZA no.
Well, he's the head. So.
Yeah. Because if I'm
he's the one they all originally looked up to, Mike. You got to understand, this is 95, so it's probably like, no, we giving Big Homie that one.
Of course.
And that's cool, but hearing Meth how about this, Mike? How can you hear Meth doing what he's doing on the Purple Tape and on Liquid Swords and even on Fish on Iron Man and not be like, okay, hold on, before we do We'll Take Forever.
How high? And how high?
Yeah. Just before, we all about to come back together. No, we got to do this Meth shit over.
Yeah. Rigger Robert, the Super Chat says, DJ Premier featuring Nas, Regeneration, Game Over.
I mean, Mike, you know what Meth and RZA sound like in 1995, right? You've heard the Razor Sharp mix, I'll Be There For You, haven't you? That's what they sound like in 95, Mike. That's what they sound like literally about 6 to 9 months later. like when RZA started peaking.
James Smith with the super chat says Deck had the best verse on Guillotine Swords. Poisonous paragraph smashed the phonograph in half and beat the Inspector Deck on a warpath. I ain't mad at that, but I don't know.
Memorable, Mike, but part of what makes Geet, I told you, Mike, if I was probably picking one Wu-Tang song, like the Wu-Tang Posse Cut record, and by Posse Cut I do mean 4 or more.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's probably the record, Mike, because they all got off, Mike. But I could argue with you and tell you that the jizz is just as precise at the end as Deck is at the beginning. The nigga don't get mad. I got mad styles of my own, and it's shown when my hands grip the chrome microphone. Verbally, I catch body. Hold on. Verbally, I catch. Hold on. What did he say? Verbally, I catch bodies with cordless shotties. Intriguing MCs, I keep them trained like potties. I bomb facts. My sword is an axe. It's invisible. Dope fiend tracks, sky's a limit, niggas are timid.
Woo!
Nobody knows how we move like wolves in sheep clothes, producing data, microchips and software, underground and off air, the land of the lost, notorious hits me from the north.
Yo, everybody went crazy on there. That's a tough one to call. Right. I've always said GZA, but GZA's a great closer, probably the best closer in the crew, while Deck is the best starter in the crew.
Yes, best starter and best closer. That's why it's the Posse Cut, and you have your glue guys in the middle with the best. Think about it: the guys with the best chemistry in the middle, best starter, best ender. It's your best Posse Cut.
Whose call was that? Was that something that the guys?
That's what I'm saying. The only thing Guillotine is missing is like Method Man on the hook. like, can we get Meth on a bridge or somewhere? Can we just get Meth talking shit somewhere on the track? Either Meth or Dirty talking shit on the track, and it's like.
But again, I have to know: is that RZA coming up with the fact that, look, we closing with GZA, we opening it with Deck or whatever, or did the guys do that on their own?
And
if he's a part of those things, that elevates his production. I mean, that's why I want to ask, what's great hip-hop production?
No, he does, because I very vividly remember Meth talking about Wu-Tang Forever, being like, niggas being mad about their bars being cut here or there, as in you might not get this or that. So it's like, how about this? I don't even believe Guillotine probably got recorded in that order. I bet you Ray and Ghost did their verses first.
Probably.
And then Deck did his verse probably.
36 Chambers.
Or how about this? What if Guillotine was a Deck track and Ray and Ghost just happened to get off on it, and then GZA came and sewed it up and it ended up being on the purple tape? But I do feel like RZA is the one that's made those calls.
36 Chambers with the $20 super chat showing love says, Wu's recording process is wild. Whoever's in the room at the time is who is on the track. Heard Meth in the interview talking about whoever is in the room just gets puts on the track at the time, and it's a very fluid process.
Yes, but the order of it is what I'm saying.
Yeah, do you reorder it? You know what I'm saying? Or is it one of those things where, like he said, they're recording it, and then RZA's doing what he does? This is what makes me think that RZA has a lot to do with that part of the process. You remember that $1 Million album, or the one that was being auctioned off? The way that was put together, the guys didn't really know what was going on. They were recording their verses as normal, and RZA and the other guy put all that stuff together. So with that being said, I feel like that may have been the process, possibly the whole time.
Liquid Swords was the evidence, because he was like, yeah, GZA didn't hear his album until it was done.
Well, if that's the truth, then yes, he's putting that together.
Yeah, no. GZA and RZA, I'll tell you, GZA didn't hear Liquid Swords till Liquid Swords was done. Most of those tracks were, it's a testament to both of them. GZA's such a great lyricist, he just needs the skeleton to the track. RZA's so great and knows his cousin's vocal and what his cousin wants to do so well, the cuz can just leave the fucking studio and cuz will finish sewing the shit up for him.
So RZA had that kind of vision where he could just, get guys to track. He's like, look, let me put it together. All you do is rap.
I think I Got Your Back was the only thing that wasn't like skeleton. I Got Your Back was recorded clearly before the rest of the album, because I Got Your Back is like late 93 and Liquid Swords is like November 95, but everything else you can tell RZA pieced together.
Leroy Green.
It might be the best production job if you know the behind the scenes between the two. Like the better beats on the purple tape, the production job is Liquid Swords.
You know what? I got to give production props to Return to the 36 as well. Like, to be able to produce a full album for Old Dirty at that time period, I can't even imagine how, because you hear those stories about how difficult it was to get Old Dirty to do a verse or two.
Have you
And to
heard
get
the Have
this,
you heard the fantasy story?
yeah, I've heard that story. So RZA made a full album, and it's great. And that's the thing where it's like, nigga, that might be the greatest production job ever.
It took 6 sessions to get a verse out this nigga. He got an album out of this dude, a long album.
A great album.
It's great too.
Yeah.
Think about what he had to do. No, but think about what they had to do. And this is what I mean about RZA putting it together. Now, you know GZA wrote most of that album, right?
Mm-hmm.
So think about it. GZA had to write it. RZA had to produce it. So
it's more difficult that they wrote some stuff.
The hard part was getting them to record.
Yeah, exactly.
One guy wrote it, the other guy produced it. It literally was a family affair.
Leroy Green with the super chat says, RZA is a legend, no doubt, but I feel like Primo dropped more individual bangers. As far as the RZA sound, I feel like the late 90s just drowned that out. I can feel that. I can feel that.
The polished sound may have drowned it out, but the records aren't better or more classic. Like if you play those 2000 records against the Wu-Tang records, I'm like.
But you can hear the frustration in Wu-Tang Forever and them talking about rapping bullshit, R&B. That's them reacting to the fact that shit's getting real shiny. Honestly, Wu-Tang Forever was attacking the shiny suit era before it happened.
Well, they seen it coming, Mike.
Yeah. They were really coming at No Way Out, honestly. And that's what it felt like Wu-Tang Forever was really coming at. It's like, okay, yeah, this shiny shit over here, we're here to educate. Wu-Tang's for the children. And then I think the bottom went out when Puffy won Album of the Year at the Grammy. And, of course, Old Dirty went out there. Say, I got dressed up for this shit. Wu-Tang's for the kids. That's talking about No Way Out and where the direction of things were going.
No, he said he liked Puffy. I like Puffy, and Puffy's good.
And Puffy's good, but Wu-Tang is for the children.
Wu-Tang is for the kids.
Exactly. And but again, I think
he didn't say anything wrong. He didn't say anything wrong. He didn't say anything wrong. Like he said, what we were all feeling in the streets.
You're right, but I think that time period.
He is good, but Wu-Tang is for the children. It's like yes.
Do you not think, though, that time period kind of buried RZA's sound and production and it didn't resurface to maybe the Alchemists and Kanye's came around?
Well, here's what I'll tell you about that respectfully is that, well, you're only as funky as your last cut. And what happened after Wu-Tang Forever was that you really didn't see him executive produce a project again either. Like there's a lot of different production on Capadonna's The Pillage. And quite frankly, Wu-Tang Forever is not Enter the Wu-Tang. And it did feel extended, and somewhat because it felt extended, felt watered down slightly. And so what really
and New York radio didn't support it either. We got to put that out there.
No, it's the obvious things that happened, but
we got to tell history properly,
But what really happened though, Mike, is that Mike, when you make 3 of the 25 greatest albums of all time, and then you make another classic after that, the chances that you're gonna make another classic after that, Mike. You know what I'm saying?
There's no way to go but down from there.
There is some sort of demise going on, Mike, because it's like I love me some Iron Man. Don't nobody ever confuse Iron Man with Liquid Swords and the Purple Tape, though. On classic level, though, it's a classic, but it's a classic that's up here. Liquid Swords, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think Supreme Clientele is more comparable.
And Wu-Tang Forever, for as great as Wu-Tang Forever is like, well, that shit's not Iron Man, Mike. So there is some decline going on.
And again, when you made some of the greatest albums ever, decline's not really decline in a general sense. I mean, people will talk about the fact that Michael Jackson never made Thriller again. Well, nobody else did. So you can't really even really picture that as a quote unquote decline. You know what I mean?
The problem with, how about this? The problem with bad is Thriller and Off the Wall.
Exactly. If Bobby Brown makes Bad, and I say this respectfully, it's the best thing he ever made. And Bobby Brown's a great artist.
I don't know, Mike. I don't know. I happen to think My Prerogative might be
better. I think My Prerogative might be slightly better, but it would be the second best thing he ever made. If Ralph Tresvant makes Bad, he's a superstar.
Oh, if Ralph Tresvant made Bad, he don't even go back to New Edition, like ever. At least Bobby was coming. Bobby and Johnny gonna come back. Ralph was not gonna come back if he made something like Bad, or even My Prerogative. He was not gonna. I
think My Prerogative is probably Babyface's second or third most impressive production writing job ever. I say number one is his Tony Braxton album. That's incredible work. And I might say number 2 is the Waiting to Exhale soundtrack. That's incredible.
Mike, I was actually about to say, number 2 is my number 1. The Waiting to Exhale soundtrack, Mike, is the best soundtrack ever. And it's arguably the best.
Rain, but I know what you mean.
I don't count Purple Rain as a soundtrack. I mean, actually, I feel what you're saying. If we're going technically, it's Purple Rain. Yeah. But, Mike, the writing, to write those songs
for that many artists,
talented women.
Yep.
Like, think about it, Mike. First of all, I always tell people it's like, Exhale and Why Does It Hurt So Bad is the last time you hear Peak Whitney, right?
Yeah.
People forget that. That's the last time you hear Peak Whitney. Mike, Brandy's best song might be on there. Sitting in My Room is Brandy's best song, in my opinion.
Possibly Mary's best song is on there.
Arguably Mary's best song is on there, Not Gonna Cry. Mike, got TLC's whole style down to a T with This Is How It Worked. Got Tony Braxton's whole shit down on Let It Flow. My Funny
Forget about Let It
Shaka
Flow.
Khan, Mike.
Yeah. It's incredible. Incredible piece of work. One of the most incredible writing jobs from anybody, not just Babyface.
No, I think it's one of the most incredible writing jobs ever, quite frankly.
Yeah, I agree.
Period.
And I feel the same way when I, and I bring up the Tony Braxton album. When I watch Boomerang and that whole "Love Should Have Brought You Home" thing that Halle Berry says in the movie, it makes me wonder what came first. It's like chicken or the egg type thing. Did this nigga see a premiere of this movie, watch this movie, and make this song after this? If so, that's genius. And if he made a song this great and they actually made the scenes after that, that's genius too. It's amazing.
No matter which way you want to toss it, man.
Matt Max with the super chat says the GZA is, he said the GZA is a better lyricist than Deck. He's elite, but one. I heard Deck fit Deck's Fit Your Mind Made Up. I guess he's talking about Deck's verse on Got Your Mind Made Up verse. You said he is the best from that camp. No. Yes, GZA is the elite lyricist in Wu-Tang, especially in that time period. Mad Max also says, and Killah Priest right there as a lyricist too. Killah Priest is dope.
None of them are the GZA though. Picture blood baths and elevator shafts like these murderous rhymes typed from genuine craft. Check the print. Swear veteran. Spark the lettering. Slow moving MCs is waiting for the editing. A liquid soluble that made up the chemistry. A gaseous element that burnt down your ministry. Herbal vapors and biblical paper smoking exodus. Every square yard is plush. Fuck a screw face, photo sessions, facial expression leaves impressions. Try to keep a sharp nigga guessing. Nah, them niggas not the GZA on the mic.
No, okay? You're right. I think the thing is, man, GZA, the gift and the sword with GZA is clearly the lyricism is top notch. But the guys that are around him are so entertaining, and he doesn't match their entertainment value. So people will look at it in a different way. Like growing up, I used to be like, why are they saying that GZA's the best lyricist? Because the guys in the Wu would say GZA's their favorite rapper. Method Man would say that. Ghost would say that. Ray would say that back then. And it's like, you get it now when you break down the words and you break down all that. But if you see it from an entertainment standpoint, it's way more entertaining to be like, I bomb atomically. Socrates' philosophies and hypotheses can't find how we rock from these mockeries. Lyrically perform armed robbery. Fleeing with the lottery. Possibly they spotted me. But GZA does this every verse. Like, literally.
Mike, I swing swords strictly based on keyboards. Unbalanced like elephants and ants on seesaws. I bomb raps that attack like the Japs at Pearl Harbor. MCs be out like bank robbers, fleeing the scene to be a sole survivor. D was the getaway driver. Try to dip, but he died. I socialize on vocal vibes. On track, stabbed up with razor sharp knives. Criminal subliminal mind. The rappers find it hard to define it, but narrow is the gate for fat tapes. Mike, he just keep going. It's like,
crazy.
Oh my God. I don't think people understand. He is a Rakim, Nas, Black Thought level lyricist.
He is. Straight up.
Not just an A1 lyricist, Mike, an A1 all-time lyricist.
Because even the approach, what you just spit sound like some Rakim shit. Like the way the rhymes build. Like they just build and keep going.
Mike, Tommy ain't my motherfucking boy. When you fake moves on a nigga you employ. Think about that. Like,
36 Chambers with the super chat says, GZA is the best lyricist, but other Wu members and affiliates have stated that Deck is the best overall member of the group as an all-around MC. I agree. Let's see. Where we at? I see some more super chats. Mad Max says, I bet GZA is not a better lyricist than Deck. Huh. I disagree with you. I disagree with you. We need evidence. Pat with the super chat says, RZA's so great. Wu fell off because his burnout. He was always changing his formula. Each project was different. Preem was never able to develop like that.
Well, he had different artists. He had different artists to feed. But that's part of why he's better than Preem. It's like, no, he made shit for Meth, Dirt, Ray, Ghost, GZA. Like,
I'm going to say this, and I ain't saying this to knock anybody. I'm just keeping it all the way real. Since you got Dre at number 1, RZA at number 2. If Dr. Dre had Wu-Tang, do you think he's putting out those records, those solo albums that RZA was able to put out? Or do you think that Ghostface would be on the shelf somewhere?
Let's say that he has the same abilities and has the same team. This is what I mean about the greatness of it. How long do you think it's going to take Dre to put these records out?
Exactly.
Because the only time that we've seen Dre not take forever to make something is the Chronic and Doggy Style.
Yeah.
That's the only proof that we have, Mike, that he'll make something like it. And that, to a lot of people, Mike, that's when his zenith, when he took off. Because if you look at it, it's like, well, no one do it better. And then Niggas for Life, and then the Chronic, and then Doggy Style. But after that, Mike, it don't seem like, even if the work was there, it doesn't seem like the output of what was putting out was happening as fast. That's what I'm saying, Mike. Think about it. When did Deep Cover come out? 91?
Mm-hmm.
Chronic is
92. December 92. I think Deep Cover might be 91 as well, but it might be earlier part of 91.
Right, so it's like, yeah, there's a little bit of gap. That's what I'm saying, Mike. It's like, no.
But, I will give Dre this credit. Niggas for Life is 91 as well. So, we can say that, too.
No, that's what I mean. So no, I'm saying there was a point where he worked like that, but this is what I'm trying to say. Into the Wu-Tang is December of 93, right? To Cal is December of 94. Then Dirt comes out in March of 95. Then Purple Tape comes out, like, in July. And Liquid Swords comes out in November, and then Ghost comes back out in 96. So from 6 projects, but Mike, the level of the projects, now let's go look at Dre's run. Let's start with Straight Outta Compton, 88?
Yep.
And then let's go to the DOC's No One Can Do It Better, 89?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then let's go to Niggas for Life, 91?
Yep.
Chronic, 92?
Yep.
Doggy Style, 93?
Yep.
RZA's album's better. Outside of the Chronic and Doggy Style, them other albums ain't winning versus RZA's albums. That's what I'm saying. Is it's like, as much as I love No One Can Do It Better, how about this? The DOC would be the GZA of the crew. You think No One Can Do It Better as fucking with Liquid Swords? Because it's not.
I love No One Can Do It Better, but I'd rather listen to Return to the 36. My personal opinion.
That's what I'm saying.
Now, and let's go another level, right? If RZA acquires Rakim in a similar way that Dre did, do you think anything comes out of it?
Nigga.
I'm just saying.
Nigga. Come on. Come on.
Yo, man, I wish Kanye would have been able to acquire Rakim, man. That's what we need, because Kanye's going to put something out, man. I will give RZA that, though. RZA never took on anybody and didn't put them out.
I mean, his biggest failure might be that he didn't finish the job for Deck or for Meth. It's really the only thing you can hold against him as a producer, because he did do a couple of Gravedigger projects, Sons of Man, Killer Army. Like, he did contribute to those projects, and he should have focused on Deck and Meth. And the Kappa album should have been better if you're not going to give us a Deck or Meth album.
Well, I hate we didn't get that Black Knights of the North Star in the way that I wanted it. But again, that's just me being a deep, deep Wu-Tang fan. Pause. But 36 Chambers says, Preem made safe hip-hop beats. Whoo! Where has Preem taken chances and changing his formula and sound? No disrespect, but no innovation sometimes knocks you down a peg. I think that's a very interesting statement. I I can agree with that as somebody who is hip hop fan, you know, from the South, Cass and all that, and they were taking all kind of chances. I love Preem's beats, but I've said that before too in my mind, like, okay, a lot of these sound similar. I get it though. He has a sound, that's his formula, and that's what people go back to. But it is kind of safe, even though it is hip hop, right? It is kind of safe because you know what you're getting with Preem, and that's cool though.
Well, here's what I would tell you, Mike, is that I think the thing that hurts him most as an all-time great producer isn't even that. It's the fact that all of his contemporaries that he is compared to have made more easy to certify classic albums than he has. Because as a producer, he has classic tracks that go toe-to-toe with anybody. But the classic album conversation, Mike, Moment of Truth is the only classic that he has where everybody's like, it's a classic.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, well, here's the fact of the matter. No, everybody think that Straight Outta Compton a classic, right?
Yeah.
Everybody think No One Can Do It Better a classic.
Yep.
Everybody think Niggas for Life a classic. Everybody think The Chronic a classic.
Easy
Everybody
does
think Doggy Style a classic.
Easy does it.
Like, you feel what I'm saying? When it comes to RZA, listen to the albums that we just named. That's what Primo's lacking. It's not even the beats. It's not even that staying in the format of it. It's like, go pull out Primo's classic albums. Go pull out Kanye, RZA, and Dre's classic albums. It's like, oh, Primo about to take an L right here, and a big one. That's the problem.
Yeah, Pat with the super chat says RZA put out Meth, Dirt, Ray, and GZA between November '94 and November '95.
Yes,
nigga, that's
these are facts.
Crazy.
No, Mike, December. Tikal came out in December of '94. That's what I'm saying. Liquid Swords came out in November of '95, so it was actually
that's
11
literally
months.
a year. Less
11
than that.
months.
Yeah.
4 projects, Mike, and 2 of those projects are top 20 rap albums.
What do you say to someone that says Hard to Earn is a classic?
It is, but it's not a classic like those other albums that we named. That's what I'm saying. It's like if Hard to Earn is your second best rap album as a producer, what is Hard to Earn beating as a second best classic? Because think about it. Moment of Truth ain't beating no Enter the Wu-Tang or no Purple Tape.
No.
Right. It's not beating no Chronic or no Doggy Style or no Straight Outta Compton.
I would say that Moment of Truth.
That's what I mean. And think about what it looks like if he doesn't make Moment of Truth in '98. Like, really.
Moment of Truth is great, and it's my favorite Gang Starr
But it's super
album.
important to his legacy too, Mike.
But
That's
it's definitely, it's like a top 25 to 30-ish album, where those other ones are 10.
Like I told you, like beat for beat, it's Dilla. But I was like, show me Dilla classic stuff again. And that's why I don't have him, like, you know, as high as he probably should be.
You got the album making process extremely high, as you should. And you know, and a lot of people feel the same way. And that's why we had Kendrick so high. It's all album making stuff.
Like, how about this? It's like, and Q-Tip said it himself when he heard Dilla. It's like, well, he sound like me, just better. And he do. But I got Q-Tip higher because you want to know why?
You got Low End Theory.
Because I ain't never seen Dilla make the Low End Theory or Midnight Marauders. I watched Q-Tip do that.
And as great as I think Fantastic.
Dilla have a Low End Theory as a production job, Mike?
I love Fantastic. It's his best production effort from beginning to end, but it's not those Tribe albums. It might not even be People's Instinctive.
It's Beats, Rhymes, and Life level.
It's better than that. It might not even be People's Instinctive, because even People's Instinctive got Benita. I mean, Can I Kick You?
I left on Wallen and El Segundo? No. It's beating that. Like, it's not. How about this? If that's Dilla's best production job, that's what I'm saying. It's like, well, that's not messing with Q-Tip's production job on the first 3 Tribe albums. As a matter of fact, Mike, a lot of people felt like the Tribe got worse when Dilla started making beats for him.
That's the narrative. I will say this.
Is it, Mike, narrative or is it the truth?
It's the truth.
Okay.
It's the truth. I'm going to say this, though. I think album making is more important for producers than it is for artists. And I think it's very important for artists. Because at least with artists, feature runs and things like that can kind of offset. I mean, we got Method Man out there. You know what I mean? Like, Method Man's not the album maker, quote unquote, that Kendrick Lamar is. But we know who Method Man is as an MC in relation to Kendrick, and it's a conversation just based on all those abilities, right? But with a producer, if you got somebody who made, let's just say, 4 classic albums, like they say Kendrick did, you can't really put them up against a spot producer who doesn't have any classics.
Right. How about this? Part of why Meth even where he is ranking wise, Mike, is because, well, when he gets to guys like KRS-One and Nas and Jay, oh, it's not like the talent's not there comparable, Mike. It goes into, well, classic albums, classic songs. It's like, oh, well, damn, Meth even about to lose those to those guys.
Yeah.
Because those guys have made so many classic songs, because they've made so many classic albums. Because you know what classic albums have, Mike? Classic songs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you need to go back and check out Fantastic Volume 2, though. Excellent album, especially from production end.
Now, no, fantastic. All I'm saying, how about this? Production-wise, Mike, do you think Fantastic 2 is better than Iron Man production-wise?
No, I don't.
Mike, Iron Man is probably RZA's 4th or 5th best production job.
No, it's true. And that's Dilla's best production job.
So, right.
I think it's slightly below it. Not too far from it, but it's slightly.
You can be the best beat maker. That's why I'm saying, like, the most talented person doesn't always end up being, like, the greatest. Like, it's not how this game works.
Leroy Green with the super chat.
Fairness to Dilla, Dilla ain't had no damn Method Man, Raekwon, and Ghostface, and Jizza, and Deck, and Old Dirty Bastard falling out the sky. It's a lot of dope MCs falling out the sky in Staten Island.
I mean, and all that stuff sounds great on paper, but RZA still had to organize it, and he still had to actually give these guys a path. Because I don't think just anybody who's a great producer could have actually did what he did with Wu-Tang.
That would actually be my last knock, Mike, is that I actually think that what happened on Wu-Tang Forever is that, well, they were all stars and he couldn't manage them at that point. He could manage them when they weren't stars. He couldn't manage them when they were stars. That's what actually happened.
It's like a college coach versus a pro coach.
Yeah, but think about it, Mike. That's not Meth in 94, 95, 96.
Everybody's hungry.
Ray? I mean, people didn't even realize how great Ray was until the summer of 95, Mike. It was 2 full years, Mike. We didn't realize who Ghost was there. Mike, Ghost didn't even get his due till fucking Wu-Tang Forever.
No, really.
People were talking more about Deck than they were about Ghost before Wu-Tang Forever, Mike, and that was with him being on the purple tape and making Iron Man. They were still screaming Deck.
He was still hungry, and that's why he was able to make what he made. Leroy Green with the super chat says, Primo's sound may be the most fundamental, but it's still better it's still better more times than most producers. He popped up and probably 100+ times with fire overall. I think the fact that Preem got placement with some of our greatest MCs all time helped a lot. But even with Preem's basic approach, or just base's approach, his stuff aged incredibly well. Like, you listen to MCs Act Like They Don't Know right now, that shit bangs.
See, but that's what I mean is like, don't sleep on Preem, because it's like, no, he has a certain sound and a certain style, Mike. How about this? If you were to put all the great producers and put a playlist of their stuff together, his playlist would sound the best, though.
I think so. And it's a consistency there. It's a consistency with a variety of our artists. And that's one thing that Preem has that the others really don't. Like, we don't have Biggie over Dr. Dre's shit. Like, we don't have, like Nas and Dre, when they connect, it's not great. When Preem and Dre connect, it's great.
But this is what I mean. You can play Crooklyn Dodgers.
Yeah.
But then you can play Boom by Royce.
Mm-hmm.
But then you can play New York State of Mind. But then you can play 1,000,001 Questions. But then you can play Unbelievable. But then you can play Clean. But then you can play You Know My Steez.
Yeah.
Then you can play Mass Appeal. It's like, no. He can dance. He can dance.
You can play the Common record. You know what I'm saying? 6 Cents.
You can play the 6 Cents. Right.
Incredible.
You can play the Limp Bizkit record all in together.
Yeah.
Right. You can play the Christina Aguilera record. That's what I'm saying. It's like, no. And it's going to sound beautiful together.
Mm-hmm.
The DJ, the classic joint.
Yeah.
You can play it. It's gonna ride.
Well, I definitely want to make my list now after we've had this conversation. Got some things to kind of go on.
I think I might be blue, Mike. I feel a little DJ Premier station head maybe coming on tomorrow, Mike. I feel a little station head pregame coming on. Might have to put a little Primo list together, Mike.
Yeah, man. I
can't put a RZA list together, Mike, because I have to take you out. I have to take you and Death Row down. Kind of funny. We ended up talking about Pac, Suge, Death Row, and we're actually having a Death Row Wu-Tang battle. We ended up talking about our station head today, like, unintentionally.
Right. Well, these guys are always relevant.
Let's get some Death Row Wu-Tang talk today.
Yeah. This happened naturally. This wasn't programmed.
That's what I'm saying. Mike, Nas is like Memory Lane, Friend or Foe 98, The Evils, Bring It On,
Yeah.
10 Crack Commandments, Kick in the Door.
Mean.
Oh, he got shit. He got shit.
Before we get out of here. Yeah, so ghetto. Before we get out of here, though, the block party, man, that's coming up Juneteenth. And I was thinking, I had an idea. I think that we should come with some shirts for the block party, kind of like the Freaknik shirts back in the day or whatever. You know, and for the people who, you know, are going to be attending, and the people who, I guess, are across the seas or whatever and would like to attend but can't, we actually have like a According to Hip Hop block party, you know what I'm saying, shirt, a design. What do you think about that?
If we can make it happen in time, let's make it happen. I'm thinking about I think we should just maybe make it a charitable event and just let everybody in.
Okay.
Just open up the doors. LT and I were talking about it. Let's just open up the venue for people.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I just want to serve the community, so.
So yeah, that event is going to be Saturday, was it June 17th?
Saturday, June 17th, 1 to 5, 1959 Metropolitan Avenue. Everybody come out.
We're going to be out there. A week before that, it's also going to be the Rappers Delight 50 Years of Hip Hop. That's by the National Black Music Festival.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, it's going to be 2 weeks of hip hop. And yeah, I'm thinking, I don't know, I'll see what we can do, getting together a shirt or something like that, you know what I'm saying, to kind of commemorate the block party and make sure that, you know, we do this year in, and, well, annually rather. And yeah, and just be able to commemorate the moment where people can say they were there. Or
yeah, I'm actually I'm gonna share this right quick before we get out of here, Mike. I actually Voyage ATL magazine has reached out to me about interviewing me for the Hidden Gems section. I'm going to be talking in the interview according to hip hop, of course, education and information on Fire's disease, which is something I want to start heightening and raising awareness for, and the Juneteenth event. I'm trying to get all of that in this week, so it'll actually like maybe make it before the Juneteenth event, but be expecting an article on Coop from According to Hip Hop to be in Voyage ATL very, very soon. Trying to get bro to get some shirts made. I need an According to Hip Hop shirt because they let me take 4 shots. So I want a shirt for Fire's disease. I want an According to Hip Hop shirt. Black Bad Gang, of course. And then, you know, Coop just has to stunt one good time, so just a little stunt. Might put the Versace back on. You know?
What kind of According to Hip Hop shirt? Just the basic joint?
Never one you give me, Mike.
I thought you had some. You know, I thought you had some. We'll get some brand new ones going.
No, I don't have shit. I'm about to pull up on my photographer in about 2 hours so we can start like working out, getting the shots done in the next couple days. So yeah.
Okay, and for the people who did get their free shirts too, man, you know, make sure you send out, you know, email us a picture of you in the shirt, info@accordingtohiphop.com, and we're gonna go ahead and get Coop laced up real quick. I'm about to go to my shirt man right now.
Shout out to the whole FDL compound. Shout out to Fred.
Yes, sir.
They're still doing the Wednesday class. Fred's manager is trying to get us plugged to some stuff up in New York. So New York, According to Hip Hop, might be coming up there this summer. I can't tell you what we're going to be coming up there yet for, but shout out to Felicity for trying to put it all together for us. Felicity does a really dope podcast herself, Mike. I think she got more followers than us, though. I don't know if we need to shout her out. She got plenty of it. She's getting to it.
Shout out to her. She getting to it. Pat with the super chat says.
Yeah, shout out to her and her husband. She just got married, so congrats.
Oh, yes. Congratulations. Yes. Pat with the super chat says, the I Shot Ya beat is better than the Who Shot Ya beat. I ain't mad at that.
I felt like they're both great beats.
Trackmasters, that's actually one of my favorite Trackmasters beats. I love the I Shot Ya beat.
Trackmasters beat.
You know what? I'm with the fans on this one, Coop. I like the I Shot Ya beat better than the Who Shot Ya beat.
I don't know if I'm going that far. I would have to hear them back to back, which I haven't probably done in eons. But you want to know what, Mike? After I get done with this Preem dig, I might have to do a Trackmasters dig. We need to give Trackmasters some love, Mike.
They got to get some love, man, because niggas is sleeping on Trackmasters. Everybody talking about this Puffy and Jermaine thing as they should. But Trackmasters have been left out of the whole versus process for whatever reason.
You want to know what it is? Puffy needed a whole Hitman team to take Trackmasters out. Because like 94, 95, 96 is kind of like Trackmasters if you really look at it. It ain't really Bad Boy and Bad Boy's Hitman until No Way Out and Life After Death. That's 97.
Mm-hmm. And I think the Trackmasters should be able to play Juicy before Puff is, or they should cancel it out.
And this is what I mean, because it's like those guys were doing tracks for other people, like Nasheem Myrick, the producer of Who Shot Ya? He did T.O.N.Y. for Capone and Noriega for the War Report.
Yep.
So it's like
he's pretty good.
He's one of my personal favorite producers, Mike. Like if I'm making a list of the top 20 producers, Nasheem Myrick's on my personal list.
He's great.
He's great.
We should interview him as well. You want to interview Nasheem Myrick? I think we should make that happen.
Only if he's going to answer questions that he probably don't want to answer.
You don't think he's going to answer the question?
I said that he probably don't want to answer.
Yeah.
I never say what a man will or won't do. We can reach out to him, but I'm going to ask him the real questions. It's not going to be we're not tossing softballs around here. We ask him real questions. He did produce Who Shot Ya? Did you not hear my diatribe earlier? Yeah, I got questions.
Okay, well let's see if those questions can be answered.
We were 13, Mike. It kind of changed the way we looked at things. Yeah, I got questions.
Well, let's try to set that up, and the fans are usually the most powerful engine when it comes to this stuff. So y'all reach out as well and see if you want to do an interview with According to Hip Hop. So we got to talk to him. We got to talk to True Master. And I want to talk to RZA. We should talk to RZA. Because a lot of these things that, the mystery and the legend, rather, behind RZA and his production job with Wu-Tang and the solo efforts, I would love to know parts of the process. I think it's Hip Hop 50. We need to document that stuff.
Let's start with True Master, then we'll work our way up.
Definitely. We'll work our way up. But yeah, we'll start with True Master.
Since
he's in Atlanta. All right. Well, y'all enjoy the rest of your day. We'll
be back tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow.
Oh, Mike, Kendrick did drop a song. I think him and Baby King dropped a song, so we need to listen.
Oh, shit.
React to it tomorrow.
Okay. I mean,
did you hear it?
I didn't hear it. When did it come out?
Well, Mike, here's the thing about it. I don't know if you know how this rap thing works. If you want to keep my attention, you need to be making dope-ass music.
I'm about to listen to it now. So it came out.
You can do that.
When did it come out?
I don't know. You tell me.
I hadn't heard anything about it. I mean,
I've been checking for him like that, Mike. When did it come out? Hold on. It's ridiculous.
It must have came out like yesterday, so I don't think it came out Friday. We would have known that. Is it fire, y'all? I mean, based on the fact that I ain't heard nothing about it, it
might have only been a day.
Okay, well, we're gonna see. I'm not gonna.
What's it called?
I don't know. Let's see.
Range Brothers, is that it?
I'm not gonna pass judgment on it until I hear it. Let's see. Kendrick Lamar. It's called The Hillbillies, I think. I think that's what I see in the chat. Yep, single, The Hillbillies, and there's a video for it. I think it dropped today because, all the articles that I see are like from 3 hours ago, 2 hours ago. I see people saying it's mid. I ain't gonna listen to y'all yet. It said it just came out. Should we listen to it and then jump back? No, we'll talk about it tomorrow.
No, hold on. I mean, if you want, let's just wait. We're coming right back.
We'll talk about it tomorrow. We want to sink in a little bit.
We're going to give it today because here's what happens. If we were to do it right now, because of some of the things that we've said, and by we, I mean me, if we were to not give it a favorable review, his legion of delusional fans that actually think that he made a quality project last year will come and castigate us for not giving it time to settle and marinate. So let's take the day to listen to it and see what it is.
Somebody said y'all gonna hate it. Don't be so judgmental. We probably will love it. Sounds like it might be weird because a lot of people are saying it's mid. And you know what? This is what I will do before we go. This is what the articles that I'm pulling up are saying about it. Variety says Kendrick and Baby King team up for the Hillbilly single and video. Okay. Let's see what Variety says about it. Or do you want to see what Pitchfork says about it?
Pitchfork has been doing a better job.
All right, let's go to Pitchfork. I want to see what they say about it. Again, I'm not going to pass judgment. They said Baby Keem and...
a couple drive-bys on them to make that happen, though, Mike.
Right. Baby Keem and Kendrick have reunited for another new song, The Hillbillies, produced by Evil Guinan. Comes with a casual music video directed by Neil Farmer. Okay, The Hillbillies samples Bon Iver's Panic era song PDLIF. Okay, let's see what they think about the record.
They're sampling Bon Iver?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see anything else. I guess got to just listen to it.
Okay.
So, all right. Well, we're going to holler at y'all tomorrow. And we're going to have a full review and some more things about tomorrow's show. It said the mid-steppers is wilding. Peace, y'all.